Srila Prabhupada conveyed to us the teachings, and I'm going to use the term a specific mood. There are different moods conveyed by different teachers. And Srila Prabhupada had a unique mood. And his mood was picked up. We pick up our mood from somewhere as we associate throughout life. So Srila Prabhupada picked up the mood of his guru, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, when he went to Radhakund, all the Babajis came, oh, he's come to Radhakund, he's going to do Krishna Lila, let's go, let's see the Krishna Lila. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati spoke from Shri Upanishad. And they thought, oh, we'll get to it next day. And again he spoke. And he spoke in a very basic Shastra. Because he had a certain mood. He wasn't interested to get a big name and a big following and many things. But he wanted to try and establish the very foundation of spiritual truth based on these Shastras. If we read Srimad Bhagavatam, Srila Prabhupada said, don't jump to 10th canto, Krishna's Lila. Go to first canto, and second, and third, and fourth. Go through all of it. Then you will understand the greatness of God, the greatness of Krishna. He's not just a little cowherd boy playing with the gopis. That he is. But that's not all. He's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And when we can understand the greatness of the Supreme Lord, then we will be allowed to enter further into the association of the Supreme Godhead. So picking up the right mood is there. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati had his mood. He picked a lot up from his father, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and in this way, the parampara goes through to Jiva Goswami, the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It is said in this age of Kali that we cannot come to Krishna except through the special mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And that is a big subject explained by Srila Prabhupada in his Chaitanya Charitamrita. So if you've got Srimad Bhagavatam, put your hand up if you happen to have a set of Bhagavatams. If you've got some Bhagavatams. Okay, quite a lot of people. Hands up. Thank you. Great. And those that didn't put their hand up, we have a few available, I'm sure. But hands up who have got a Chaitanya Charitamrita set. Quite a few. Nearly as many as Bhagavatam. That's very encouraging, Srila Prabhupada, I would say. I think Srila Prabhupada would be very pleased to see it. We want to just make a small statement, which is that every single member of our society, the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, is entitled and encouraged to develop, to have a personal relationship with His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Through his books, his teachings, serving him and being an active part of his society. So it's encouraged that we develop a relationship. And that is not an infidelity. Some you may think, well, I have my guru and you have Prabhupada's your guru. We have to learn to see that Srila Prabhupada is the founder acharya. I may be guru, this person, we all may be guru. And I'm going to break from my notes, forgive me. But in 1976, in the Srila Prabhupada's room in Melbourne, Australia, my wife and I were both present at that time. Srila Prabhupada, we were all gathered in his nice, beautiful darshan room. And he said, I want all of you to become guru. This was in 1976, we just walked in the door, and Srila Prabhupada said, I want you all to become guru. It doesn't mean that we have to sit in a big vyasasana and present ourselves to be something that we're not, to make it a farce, a pretense. But he was planting the seed that we all should become responsible teachers for our children, mothers and fathers. We should be responsible to act as teacher, guru in this line of Krishna consciousness. Okay. Oh, there's so many things here. I can talk over each of them, so we don't want to do that.
Hare Krishna. So Srila Prabhupada wrote his books with a purpose in mind. Actually, everything Srila Prabhupada did, he had a purpose. And one of the purpose was to carry the spiritual teachings across time. So those teachings that we read so enthusiastically, they have the same depth, the same meaning across time as they do today. Even though society might have changed, this might have changed, that might have changed, but the depth of those spiritual teachings are always relevant. And across geography, Prabhupada wasn't satisfied. He wanted the spiritual teachings to go all around the world. And we were always surprised at how he could do that at such an advanced age. We're kind of at that age now when Srila Prabhupada came to the West, and we sometimes just marvel, how did he do it? Because it took a lot of effort.
One little note there would be to just reiterate something you've heard many times before, but you're going to hear it more and more. How we can spread this Krishna consciousness to all the different populations of the world. Not just the Indian community, but you in Indian bodies, just like our Srila Prabhupada was in a Bengali Indian body, but his vision was universal. He wanted to give Krishna consciousness as Lord Krishna himself wants to all the people of the world. So now it is incumbent upon all of us, whether we're in whatever body we're in, is to make this available to all the people of the world. The Germans, the Australians, who else is in the room from another country? Could you shout out your nationality if you can? If you're not an Indian, say. Hello, Krishnendu. A Kiwi, yes, there's a Kiwi. Grab them. You don't see it. It's very, very rare to see a Kiwi, isn't it? They say about the Kiwi bird, it's hard to find them. Yeah. So, anybody else from any other country? Put your hand up. From the UK. Anywhere else? From where? Indonesia, yes. We've got temples there also all over the world. Anyway, that's an interesting... Oh, yes, Maraji. From Nepal. We used to teach many Nepalese children in Vrindavan. Yeah? Many of my wife still keeps contact with these little 5-year-olds who are now 35, 40. Little kids from Nepal. So it's an international society for Krishna consciousness.
So, Srila Prabhupada's books, his writings, they should be foundational in every devotee's life. Because through his writings and his teachings, he gave us everything we need to advance to the highest level of Krishna consciousness. And we find that over the years, we keep rereading Srila Prabhupada's Srimad Bhagavatam's Nectar of Devotion, Krishna book. And each time we read it, sometimes it's like, have I read this before? Because you get a deeper understanding. And Srila Prabhupada's books are so potent. Before I was a devotee, I had many books from the devotees. I never read one, but I liked the pictures, and so I had a whole kind of line of books. But I never read them, but they were just waiting there for the time when I would meet my husband and he would teach me about Krishna consciousness. So that's the power of those books. Imagine delving into them. If they have that power, just sitting in your house, imagine delving into them. So they are the primary sound vibration in Krishna consciousness, in the Krishna consciousness movement. And as I said, they are sufficient to take us to the ultimate goal.
And in finishing pretty much, we would just like to say that It's an essential factor to keep close to Srila Prabhupada's books. By coming together to read, discuss and churn Srila Prabhupada's writings. And there's a nice little statement, I think it was Vaisheshika Prabhu, one of our stalwart. I was thinking of this earlier. I want to say to Srila Prabhupada that you have sent such wonderful disciples that I'm hoping that I can follow in their footsteps in some shape, way or other to become a disciple, just without any adjective, just to become a disciple of Srila Prabhupada. But he speaks so beautifully and encourages so much, such a wonderful example. And preeminent we mentioned a little earlier. Preeminent. So one of the things that shines the light on the preeminence of a great acharya is that his followers become great. So Vaisheshika Prabhu was making this point, it's incumbent upon us all. And that's not just one or two Prabhupada direct disciples, but it's just like Prabhupada said to us, I'm going to say to you, you all should become guru. You all should become guru, become knowledgeable in the Srimad Bhagavatam, and in whatever capacity, spread it all over the world, to your children, to your family, to your country people, whatever you can do. And he said, by coming together to read, discuss and churn Srila Prabhupada's writings, we can stay above the chatter of the mundane world. Such a nice statement. In Sanskrit it's called Gramya Katha, and another, talk of the village, you know. What did you do? I went here. What did you do? Oh, do you have pizza? Yeah, I had pizza. Blah, 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 blah. And all this stuff is called, what is it called? Prajalpa. Prajalpa. Useless. Not useless, we have to talk about these things, but that should not be our main function. Whenever we come together for devotee association, we should be talking. I asked the devotee yesterday, I said, what sloka have you got for me today? Adi Mohan? Yeah. Adi Mohan. I said, what sloka have you got today? And he went, oh. And then he had a sloka. And he told me a great little story about Dhruva Maharaj and how his mother, anyway, it's a whole story, but it was really nice. So that's why we come together to talk and discuss about Krishna, so that we can stay above the chatter of the mundane world. So Srila Prabhupada, you've given us everything on this day. We pray for your guidance to develop some intelligence how to go forward for the next years in our life of service to you.
So Srila Prabhupada also, one saying he used to quote was, God helps those who help themselves. So there are no obstructions to hearing and chanting if that is our desire. So we have to cultivate that desire. And there are no impediments, especially these days we can sit down and listen to a class online, which we couldn't do before. So sometimes we think it's harder now, but then there's also other opportunities. So we're going to finish with a little quote. Once a reporter asked Srila Prabhupada, so what will happen to this movement when you die? Srila Prabhupada very confidently said, I will never die. I shall live forever in my books, and you will utilize. So we leave it there. Thank you, Srila Prabhupada ki.
And you can connect with Sri Krishna Prabhu and many of the devotees that serve together. They have so many nice programs. I think this morning there was a Bhakti Shastri. I was thinking, wow, they're really keen. It's Prabhupada's disappearance day, and then I thought, oh, well, Prabhupada would be happy they were doing that. So connect with the devotees to connect with those programs that are available. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Prabhupada ki